Oh, these songs of freedom.
All right.
Let's do it. So Nick's dead?
Nick died, I think.
He's dead.
Check. Check. Oh, I'm getting some levels. Nice levels.
You are now listening to.
I do tend to explode only when by myself.
I got one in a headlock, and I definitely connected at least 5 or 6 times before I heard.
Oh my God.
So you got to punch a cop.
Yeah.
There's a slight difference between molestation and
Wanna
like
pass the beer out to me, my
vigorous
man?
bestiality rate.
It's not molestation.
He's the mole, dude.
He's got the mole in the base of his cock, dude. It's fucking. It's quick strain, dude,
You
for
are
us.
a horrible human being.
Look at how quick this is.
You know what? Why don't you die from breast cancer or something?
No, you take that back.
How do the sun
20
and
behind you there.
orbit the Earth if it's flat?
Suck a scientist's dick.
But in the event of an emergency, your regular
All right, here we go.
exit might not be the quickest or safest.
Hey, this emergency exit is painted on. There's no way out. There's no way out.
Oh, that's right. Now is the time to open your mind. In our search for the unknown, who knows what we will find? This is Emergency Exit. This is episode 96. Today is December 10th, 2018. We are broadcasting to you again from our floating tin can. Far above the world.
I was a little late, but
I am Los. Follow me on Twitter at That's Right Los. Joining me as always is Jimmy, the
you didn't think this one through, did you?
the high flying, limousine riding, Rolex wearing Jimmy.
Jimmy Preston.
Fucking Preston.
Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on all the social medias at Jimmy Preston.
Yeah, we will do.
Did
turn
my
down that
ears
a
go
little bit.
down or did my voice go down? Which
I
is
think his voice went down.
probably
Tad.
voice. Give me a little more.
Give him some. Give him a little bit of more meat there.
How you doing, Los?
Doing well. How are you doing? Welcome
Man,
back.
doing great.
Don't forget, we've got Brandon, the hard hat Mitchell, over here streaming us live. Where's that hard hat cam? Boing!
Bam! Right there.
There
Just
it is.
coming up right there.
There it is. All right. What do we have on the show today,
There he
Jimmy?
is.
Jimmy, I'm going to tell you what we have on the show. We're doing a lot of news. I think we're going to start with a little bit of Trump talk. We're going to talk a little bit about big bottom gals,
Big bottom.
is Santa real, haunting past tweet talk, and a tricky transgender in the news. But first, let's do a Brew World Order. What do you say?
Sounds good.
That's right. It's the Brew World Order. What do you think about that, Kanye?
I don't answer questions in simple sound bites. You are tasting a fine wine.
All right, fine wine it is. Well, we're not tasting a fine wine today. We are tasting Native Texan Pilsner by Independence Brewing Company.
Independence. Correct me if I'm wrong. Are they the ones that are over there on like east, in the east side?
Negative.
South,
I think you're thinking of Hops and Grain
No.
or Zilker Brewing Company. This one is on
Where are these guys at?
just south of Ben White.
Yeah.
On
East
Todd
of 35.
Road.
Todd Road. Yes, that's what I
And
meant.
It is a very easy. It's only about 5 miles from where the floating tin can is now.
I used to live on East St. Elmo.
Okay.
And so I used to pass them. And on the first Saturday of every month, I believe they have like a big thing in their yard. So you can like go get their beer and
Jimmy,
stuff.
look at how big this beer is I brought for you.
Which beer?
This beer right here in my hand.
Oh my, how'd you do that?
It's so big.
Can I have it?
That was for all the viewers out there. I hope we got all the streaming stuff taken care of. If you guys want to give us a call, add some stuff, or give us a call. We got a number here, 830-875-0637. Again, it's 830-875-0637.
Call us. Seriously, I'd rather talk to you than Los. So, okay, you told me last minute to grab some beers for the BWO.
Brew World Order.
I told you about a beer that I loved in Canada when I was in Toronto that was called Pilsner. And so when I saw this, I was driven to it. Everything else is a stupid IPA. I hate IPAs. So I saw a Pilsner. I hope we all enjoy this. I hope I've never had this. I hope it rates high. Who's going first?
Well, let's all take a sip.
Okay.
Brandon's got one too.
Yep.
Cheers.
Damn, Los.
Damn.
Chug that
Dude.
one down.
I sound weird. Oh man, this is really good. You know, I was thinking, native Texan. So I competed in a mustache and beard competition over the weekend, and I said on stage, I said, "Do you like Texas?" to the MC, and he goes, "Yes." And I go, "I love Texas." And he goes, "Yeah." And I go, "Do you know how much I love Texas?" I said, "I love Texas so much, I want to take it behind the high school and get her pregnant." And that's exactly what I said. And I looked around. I don't think anyone got the
Nobody
joke.
got it.
But there it is, native Texan. 'Cause I love it.
So you're trying to trap a bitch. Is that what-
Want to get her pregnant.
yeah.
I'm Tracy Morgan.
Her dad's a doctor.
Yo, come over here, lady.
You don't know what you're marrying into. You marry into Texas, you're marrying into a world of problems. You're gonna have to work in the oil fields to earn your keep. I mean, before you can get a partnership at the law firm, you're gonna have to do some sweating.
Yeah,
you know?
it's true.
Maybe denut some steers out in at the old ranch. Independence Brewing Company, native Texan.
I don't see ABV
Pilsner.
on this here. Brandon, do you have anything on this?
Give me 30 seconds.
Okay, we'll talk a little bit, but it tastes really good. It's light, little bit. If I was to put it in a category of lights, it'd be a step above, like Miller Lite, but way
Is
tastier.
Lone Star a Pilsner? What am I drinking when I drink Lone Star?
What does it say on the
my
can?
favorite beer.
Malt liquor, I bet.
No, it just says National Beer of Texas.
The national beer of.
Celebrating
a
Texas
national-
independence. Always Texan.
I'd imagine it's a lager.
Brewing since 1884. Totally forced Coors Miller to continue to brew us. Says on the side of the can.
Force
here.
Coors and Miller.
Yeah.
Native Texan, 5%.
All right, not bad.
Okay.
All right, let's give it some judging. Brandon the Hardhead Mitchell, pop up that
Yeah.
hardhead cam and boing. What do you got for me?
Let me grab me another quick
Where'd he
little,
go? Oh,
little
there he
sip
is.
here.
There he is. Little buddy. It's good. He's a good hard hat.
Man, that's got a... Is it like a bitter, almost like a sour kind of taste? I don't know, man.
It's funny as fuck.
It surprised me.
Yeah. I'm going to give it an even 3.
Look at that mustache on you, hard hat. He's working on a dirty old fucking stash like your boy Los.
That dirty old man.
But you look, he finally get rid of that chin hair. Look at that thing. Not.
Are you racist against other forms of facial hair?
Absolutely.
Like
No.
you just prefer? I mean, what if somebody's got the soul patch under the mustache? Do you think of them differently than just if they just had stash? They got the little soul patch.
I don't blame them for it. I get it. If you look at past pictures of me, it's just they're at a point where they haven't realized that's fucking gay. Sorry. We'll talk about that a little later in the news too.
Touching real quick on the Lone Star, Jimmy.
Okay.
Lone Star is a lager,
It's a lager.
and it's actually brewed in California.
Okay, so I thought that I liked Pilsners
Lone
because I
Star's
drink
from
Lone
Cali?
Star.
Yeah. Pabst Brewing Company.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
Oh.
But
I know that.
it's brewed in Texas. It's that we just went over this. Didn't we cover this on a show? Did we cover this on
Lone
a
Star. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's get this brew in order. Did you give me
Yeah, 3.
show? A
a 3, solid 3?
What are you going with, Lois?
Well, I like this a lot. This is a really good beer, something I can drink all friggin' day.
It's a session beer for you?
It's a session beer, I guess you can call it. It's great. It's not too heavy. As you can hear from that burp, I was satisfied by it. So I'm going to give this a solid 4.7. My God, that is a high.
That is a high number.
It's really good beer.
Okay, well, I'm apt to give this a high number just due to the fact that I paid for it and I brought it. But it normally I would just be like, this is a 5, man. I picked a winner. But I'm going to tell you right now, guys, this has got some aftertaste that I just can't stomach.
Maybe a little. What's the IBU on this? There's probably a little bit of IBU on there.
I always think if I go into the cooler, it's a blank slate, just ice at the top, bunch of beers in the bottom. I go in, grab this one, I crack it. Maybe if it was colder, it might be more delicious. But
We found that to be the case with the beer that got rated a 0 before.
But I'm telling you,
At least I've said that.
It's got a funky aftertaste to me. I would not grab another one.
no
I
IBU,
would go past it. And if I did pull a second one, if I bobbed for a second one, I would throw it back and I would I'd go for.
That being said, what
beer.
is your rating?
2.7.
2.7. Geez, that's low.
Yeah.
All right, that's the Brew World Order. Real coming soon, man. We're gonna make this tournament happen.
Is anybody writing this down, or are we just going to transcript?
We're just gonna have to listen to it and get it all.
Hey Jimmy, I need you to listen to the last 15 episodes.
Let's do the news, man.
Okay.
And Jimmy.
Oh,
Jimmy and Los.
Nick's not here. He's dead.
He's not feeling well.
He's not dead yet.
He's dying. We got the news with Jimmy and Los. That is right. Okay, let's do. What do you want to talk about this Trump thing for a bit, man? I know you wanted to get into. There's a couple memorandums that came out by Mueller on recommendations on Mueller on the recommendations of prosecution for Michael Cohen.
It's not looking good for Trump and company. There was
man, what a
three
sitcom
memos,
that'd be.
Trump and company.
Trump and company.
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're an idiot.
Melania, get over here.
You're a small, weak person.
One of these days, Ivanka.
Melania. Yeah, he's just talking to Melania like that. You thinking he's
Melania,
talking?
get over here. We're gonna fight it off. Get over here. Come here. You had a great day. I know you had.
I got a pilot about this. Like after they get removed from the White House, and just imagine. You ever see Mama's Family? No. Mama's Family mixed with Married with Children, and I'm talking about Trump out of the White House. And in like the hot daughter, just like Married with Children, he's always like hitting on his daughter with what's her name, Ivanka. So she's always on the couch, and she's always having to do like these slutty modeling jobs. And then the stupid son, Bud, is replaced with what's his Don Jr.
It would be
and
funny
Eric.
if it was like Married with Children themed, but it was Donald Trump. Anyways,
Donald
go
Trump,
ahead
yeah.
with
Okay.
Trump and company here.
So 3 memos came out last Friday, 2 from the SDNY, which is the Southern District of New York, and then 1 from Mueller.
Mueller,
What
you're fired.
This basically is
of shite.
spelling out is that there were actual direct from the SDNY. They're saying that there was direct orders given to Cohen to make payments to these 2, the porn star and the ex-playmate or something like that, to hush them up, and then also payments or collusion, or not collusion, but a coordination with the. Sorry for throwing that word in there. I know that's a trigger word for you.
Not
but
yet. No, it's not.
the coordination with the Inquirer to buy the stories and then to hush this up. So it turns out that these are in the eyes of the Southern District of New York Prosecution Office. They are saying that this is felonious.
felonious.
Campaign finance misdoings. So they didn't name. Oh, they did name in the SDNY thing. They named Trump as person 1,
Individual 1.
Individual 1.
But we're only assuming that.
No, they named him. In the Mueller, they just call him Individual 1.
But that's
but
not. It's not
then-
100% sure that that's Trump.
Who do you think it is?
Well, can we say it's? Are you 100% sure?
Yeah, but so
We'll go with that.
what we're going with is
We'll go with that. All right.
these filings
Okay.
have basically laid out that Cohen is cooperating with both SDNY and the Mueller.
He's a
folks.
liar.
He's saying everything.
He's weak.
And he
Weak.
he has
All right, take it easy, Donald. You don't understand. He's weak.
he has basically
Huge loser.
implicated Trump as knowing about all these payments, and he has since lied about them. So
What is illegal about that? So tell me why it's illegal.
okay, it's illegal because you can't. You're supposed to be open and honest with the public.
Disclose. You're supposed to disclose it.
And so they were withholding information that could have been damning to the candidate prior to an election. So they were basically
That's funny.
lying
They say
to
could.
the people.
So what exactly? Okay, so I get that. It makes a lot of sense. He probably did that.
Plus, there's also
But
information.
Think
that
about how it
out.
came out, though. Think about how it did come out. How we all heard about Stormy Daniels, and now did it change anything? Do the people that heard about that
'cause
change that?
That's the crazy world that we're living in, and that's I think what I want to raise your eyebrow on. You know, like how come we? I mean, because like anytime I tell you something bad about Trump, you know, and you're like, well, what did he say? And I'll say what he said, and you're like. I love that guy.
Yeah.
And I get that you love him. Okay.
I see the good in him.
If he was on my side, I'd probably be saying the same thing that you're saying. You know what I mean? Like
we are sitting pretty on our side here.
Yeah, it's
winning.
Yeah. So much
Winning, so much winning.
Beating China. Have you looked at the market? Have you looked at the freaking stock market? We've lost like 2%
Hold up a second.
every day.
Why are you
for the last
Why are you
4
blaming
days.
Trump when it goes down, but Obama takes credit when it's going up? Remember, he goes, remember those the economy's going up. Remember who? I keep trying to make him sound like he's New York or something.
Who? He's
Obama.
from Chicago. You can't do a Chicago accent?
No, you just got to do the.
Yeah.
You
Well,
gotta,
what you gotta understand?
you gotta
We've
understand?
raised
and raise it up when you're finished talking.
The economy's going up.
And remember who did that? That was me, not Donald Trump. He's a orange faced fuck.
Okay, but listen, there's a special. I need you to watch CNN for in the next couple of days. There's a new special that's coming out, and it's got GW Bush, and it's got Obama and a bunch of leaders
George W. Bush.
that were in place during the crash.
Hey Jimmy.
That crash of 2008, okay, which listen, I was part of.
What are you talking about?
I was a real estate agent during that time.
You were only 40 years old back then.
And I helped bring down the real estate market. Okay, we
single-handedly, all by myself.
We were strong arming
We were the
appraisers
best.
to make sure, and we were having junk loans out there for people to buy houses because the property values were going up so high that the loans couldn't keep up with them. And what happened? Eventually, people were over-mortgaged to the hilt, and the whole economy went down. But this is on Bush's watch. Him and Greenspan didn't lower the freaking interest rates. They needed to raise the interest rates to stop the buying. But they were just like, everybody's happy. Everybody's got a house. The interest rates, if we keep them low, people keep spending. And they were taking out loans on all kinds of shit. But then once they were like, oh my God, we can't keep this up. There's nothing to leverage these loans on anymore. These are just leveraged on junk bonds. Boom. The one bank started selling the bonds. Next bank started selling the bonds. Everybody starts selling the bonds. Boom. Bottom falls out of the market. Everybody's $450,000 house is now worth $250,000. They default. I mean, you're an idiot if you kept paying that loan. Like, if you didn't cash out of the loan, you're an idiot. So, yeah, you should have defaulted on your, is that? And, so what were we talking about?
Well, you were talking. I lost train. I was thinking about your phone for a second.
I know, me too. It's my phone started ringing, and I was like,
just exited out of that.
Oh.
No.
The point is this.
What is the point?
The point is this.
Jesus.
If Trump was my guy, I'd be laughing too. I'd say that he was great, but he's gonna go to jail. I want to make a bet with you.
Okay.
I say that he has charges brought against him.
What's that supposed to mean? What if he fights and wins the court case?
Some prosecutor is going to charge him with something. And I don't think it's necessarily going to happen while he's still in office. But after he loses the election, after he steps down, there's a peaceful transfer of power. I believe that he'll be brought up on charges, and it'll probably be something about, illegal campaign contributions.
Okay, so listen, have you heard about Dinesh D'Souza?
Who's that?
He's a documentary filmmaker, and he's very anti-Hillary and Obama. Came out with a documentary, very anti-Obama at the time. He claims that because of that movie, they found some damning evidence and put him in jail, right? And what he got in trouble for was campaign contributions. He donated $20,000 to a candidate that he wasn't supposed to, because the maximum is 10. So he had 2 friends donate, and he paid those 2 friends back, and he got in trouble for that. And he had to go to jail, and he went to this like blue collar ass jail where he had to just spend the night in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So you go in and you have to be there at a certain time.
So
and
he actually had a good time.
Well, I'd say that's what we're going to come with Trump. Trump's just going to have, if he's going to go to jail for anything, it's going to be something like that for 6 months.
He ain't going to go to jail.
He's not going to go to jail.
He won't go to jail. He may end up getting charged as a felon. And
he'll just pardon himself, my man, or he'll get the next president to do it.
I think the Democratic president. There's
president.
There's presidential decorum.
Never again.
I believe if I was to run for president and beat him, and then I was, I'd be independent. I'd be an independent.
You just threw away your vote, my man.
But
you threw away all you get. How do you like your 1% of votes?
Okay, all right. So I'd run as a Democrat.
You're the 1%.
Run as a Democrat against him, and
I had to learn about the 1%.
Once I'm in there, though, I'd give him a pardon.
Show.
I'd pardon him, but I'd pardon him with pity, and I'd say it's only because I don't want his kids to see him dragged through the mud, because they love him so much, and there's no other God in their lives but their Father. And
they have Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior.
I don't think they do.
What makes you think that?
I don't think they're Christ lovers.
Well, they are.
Have you seen them in church? They don't know how to pray. Did you see him at the funeral for H.W. Bush?
Yeah, he sat
with
there
his arms crossed.
Some people pray different ways, bro.
Yeah.
You don't know. He's probably like this, crossing. He's like, Lord Jesus.
That's how I pray.
Let's pray. Lord Jesus,
she's
above
rocking
us,
back and forth,
weighing 7.5 ounces. Lord Jesus, please bless, what's his name? George.
H.W.
Oh, that's right, H.W.
The older Bush.
And I'm a huge fan,
part of the CIA. Don't believe anything they say.
Yeah, he was part of the CIA, though, too.
Yeah, he was the director of the CIA.
Big, what? He was a war hero and a war criminal.
This is what I think is going to happen.
We can say that. Yin and the yang.
Okay, the trap that the Democrats are going to fall into is this push, because the media is asking, "Are you going to impeach? Are you going to impeach? Are you going to impeach?" Because they're asking all these questions, from like these talking heads. And they're like, "Is this enough to impeach?" And they're like, "Yeah, it totally is. This is enough to impeach."
Yeah, but you got to get half the fucking. You got to get the Republicans on it.
They got to get the Senate.
And
they don't have
give
the
a
Senate.
fuck, bro.
So
let's. We gotta. Can you read that, Brandon? Coming in, we have a comment coming in.
We got a comment coming in from Stoners How To.
Stoners.
Yeah.
Okay.
The U.S. is a constitutional republic
That's
and
right.
needs to be protected as such. Misled or uninformed democracy can lead to mob rule.
That's right.
That's what the Democrats want.
And that's from Stoners How To.
I'm saying there's a misled populace right now. The electorate was misled by the current president. And so if the evidence that we're seeing and the news that's coming out from the Mueller investigation and the other investigation in New York shows that he was misleading us, and then also possibly getting information from a foreign government, which is an adversarial government, Russia. And I don't understand how it all of a sudden turned around that Russia is like our best friend. Like everybody that watched Rocky IV knows that Russia is not our friend. So all of a sudden Russia's like, cool. It's like, can't we just like get along? Like we were at Cold War, but we're at like no war anymore. I don't know. You guys want lukewarm war, man?
Stoner How To. Give us a call, man. If you're still watching, give us a call. 830-875-0637.
What are you talking about?
Argue
Stoner
with
World War.
Stoner World War. Is that what you're
What
saying?
is his name?
Stoner How To.
Stoner How
on
To.
YouTube. That's where we're getting our. If you guys want to give us a comment, come on over there. Let's see if he calls in.
Call us.
All right. I guess I will make a bet with you, but what's the?
Okay?
Are we saying that he's going to go to jail or he's going to have charges brought up against him?
Okay, if there are no charges stemming from this election or, from this investigation, like what I also see is, like Mueller's probably just sitting on a treasure trove of all kinds of tax evasion issues. With Cohen doing his dirty work, like this guy, he's right. Trump is right. He's a weak person. Yeah, you hired an idiot. This guy's Dumbo.
Yeah.
And he was handling all of your dirty work. He's called the fixer, right? And he has just rolled.
Call me the fixer.
Guy
I be fixing low and high.
He has rolled on Trump Daddy so good, and
Trump's gonna get what he wants till the day he dies. Yeah.
Okay, this is what I'll say. One of the Trumps or the son-in-law of Trump is going to do some jail time. Somebody will do jail time. At least one
For
day.
what?
1 day of jail.
Colluding with Russia or the lying or the not disclosing, paying off
the
to
lying.
people. Lying about what?
Kushner is like
Just not disclosing.
He's like best friends. He's on first name basis with the prince of Saudi Arabia. So they're starting to put some dots together about this whole murder thing.
Man, you sound like fucking.
You get in my face with that,
You sound like Alex Jones.
I'm
man.
not telling you anything that you don't already know, brother. You take the vitamins and the minerals, and then you understand all the conspiracy theories.
That's the key to doing a good Alex Jones.
Yeah,
you got to do a
little bit Hulk
You got to go a
Hogan.
little Hulk Hogan with it.
Little Hulk Hogan.
You get in my goddamn face with that, I'll beat your goddamn. You got to also have
What
a
do you
little.
got, gay frogs around here? Come on.
They're making the frogs gay.
What
get
is
in
it?
my face with
What
that,
makes the frogs gay?
Okay, so there's a chemical, and this is a study from Berkeley College. It's called aspartame, and it's a chemical that's running off of fertilizer that's running into this stream of water. And the
Aspartame
frogs.
isn't that the acne medicine?
No, it's like a it's
Or was
found
that
in fertilizer.
Oh, okay.
So, and what's going on is these frogs that are genetically male are losing their penis, and vice versa. They're basically growing the opposite. So basically, he's saying that because they're genetic, they'll put two males together, and one of them has been treated with the water and lost their wiener and starts taking it from the other frog, right? Starts doing it and becomes a genetic female. And he's literally saying, turning the frogs gay. That's like the chemical in the water is turning the freaking frogs gay. And he's being a little hyperbolic about it. And then he mentions that he sells a water filter at the end of that segment. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
Yeah, okay.
And so you got to look at it that way. He's looking at at like we're going to do. We're going to look at news.
What are we going to sell?
Well, we'll think about it. Maybe some doomsday stuff.
Yeah.
I like, MREs. That'd be sweet.
Dude,
maybe get a gun sponsor. I'd
I
like to
used
have guns on this show.
No.
Yeah, I'd like to have a gun. Well, maybe we can't because of you.
No, you can sell a gun right next to me.
Maybe we
but
can
I'm
have a
not
gun
gonna-
like
I'm not
laying
gonna
right
sell
here.
Guns.
It'll be like cool. It'll be my
Guns-
side. See, half of
guns-
this will be
guns
like
are
the
tools
good
for
side.
killing people. You understand that?
Yes, they
That's the
are.
only thing they are good for.
Yeah. So
Killing people or things.
okay.
Or shooting paper.
Okay.
Who likes to shoot paper?
Hold up,
Nobody
no,
likes to
just
shoot
saying
people.
it's meant for
Everybody
killing people.
that has a gun wants to shoot a person.
No, I don't want to shoot a person.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you
No, I
probably
don't.
do.
No, I don't.
Do you play shoot 'em up games?
See,
on
here's
your-
the thing
on
about
your,
you.
on your video game machine?
When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
I know.
Now listen, I own a couple guns, and I don't have the urge to shoot anybody. I do have the urge of freedom and protection that I have when I'm holding it, and no one's gonna fuck around when they're around me.
Do you see what happens when scared people hold guns? That's why cop shootings happen every day. They're absolutely terrified that they're going to lose their life. Every day that they strap on that badge and they go out there into the public to protect and serve, they are scared. And I don't know how to stop them from being scared, but that's what's going to stop the shootings, the pointless shootings.
Proper training and handling of a firearm.
But you talk to anybody,
Education.
there's no amount of training that you can go through, even with dummy ammunition, or what do we call it, blanks. You cannot train anybody for that live fire situation. It is just so different. Once you have the real bullets whizzing by your head and you are in a live fire situation, everything changes.
Yeah.
And all the statistics go out the freaking window.
Well, those
so
people that-
we need to train people with live freaking rounds. And if they make it, then they're a cop.
Here's a tip for all you guys out there. If you want to get your concealed license without having to leave your home, you can get one in Virginia. You can sign up for it, take the test, and pay the fine, and then you register that to Texas, it is accepted in Texas.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true. I had my concealed carry in Virginia, and I had to go and take a class.
Is it Maine? It might be Maine. It's
some other state.
It's a state that will let you. It might be Maine, but basically look it up. 70% of states can.
But you have to be a resident of that state. Of
course,
like, I can't be a resident of Texas.
Listen, you have to go through stuff. You have to be registered to carry this stuff. I'm gonna be licensed to carry this year, coming in 2019. I will have my gun on certain occasions, and who's to stop me, man? You know, I'm a proud American, Texan American. That's right.
Oh well,
I'm a Texan.
When you go and fill out that form that
Born in
says,
Cali, though.
"Do you ever do drugs?" What do you check?
It doesn't say, do you ever do drugs? It says, are you
have you ever used?
Are you addicted
illegal
to
drugs?
marijuana? That's if you're addicted to marijuana, and you say,
What is your answer to that?
No, I'm not addicted to marijuana.
You can stop at any time.
That's right.
Okay.
It's a very specific thing. I don't use drugs. I really don't. I don't do coke. I don't do any of that stuff. I will do it. I've also done it too, but I really stay away from that stuff these days. Cocaine, I won't do it. It just makes me feel sick. I don't like it. I will do Molly. Hey, hit me up. Acid, I won't do. Mushrooms, I won't do. Any of those hallucinogens, I don't do. Molly's pretty much the only thing that I will do when I have like a full night to hang out and I have the next day to recuperate, which is pretty rare. And I don't really care to do it. What am I going to do? Stand there and just dance in a circle with throwing some lights around? It's boring. It just like makes your brain bleed serotonin and just all over your brain, and you're just feeling so good.
Have you ever though been like to a rave? Like I remember going to what is it, Art Outside, and I was just hanging out. Somebody had given me a bag of mushrooms, and I'm just hanging out, and there was this girl that like bumped into me, and I was like, "Oh, hey, sorry," and she was like, "Oh no, I'm sorry," and I was like, "No, I'm sorry," and then I said, "Do you want some mushrooms?" And she said, "Yeah." And so I gave her some mushrooms, and then we both ate them, and then we didn't see each other for like 2 or 3 hours. But by the time we ran back into each other, we were like really feeling good, right? But like something brought us, like we couldn't let go of each other. Like it was weird. She was like, "Oh my God, there you are," and we were attached, like almost two trees that grew into each other.
Oh man, we were so intertwined.
And there was this like DJ tent, and the lights were too intense inside. So like we went and like sat next to a tree, and we just embraced for like 7 hours. And then I think we both kind of came out of it about the same time and looked at each other like, "Who the fuck are you?"
You don't even remember what went on there.
No.
What do we got coming in on the line here? We got Stoners How To saying something.
We got Stoners How To coming back. Trump's exact statement about not having a quid pro quo relationship with Russia during the election is being interpreted as lying, but the definition of is just as relevant now as it was when. I think he means then.
Slick Willie had to answer. What does that mean? I don't know either.
That one.
Hey man, Stoners, give us a call, dude.
The definition of is that goes back to Trump. Not Obama, but what was the last Democratic president before him?
Bill Clinton,
yeah, Clinton,
the
Bill
rapist.
Clinton. Was he though?
Yes.
No, that was totally consensual.
About Monica Lewinsky.
Monica Lewinsky.
Oh, we're not talking about Monica Lewinsky. We're
Who are you talking about? Jennifer Flowers?
No, Broadwick. What's her name? Marsha Broadwick. Her last name's Broadwick.
Okay.
And she
He
went out.
probably
She's come
raped.
out.
He probably raped.
That's right. I came out, Jimmy. Let me tell you something, Jimmy.
But
those girls come to me. I'll fuck them.
Listen, I will tell you though that
that's right.
There's a type of rape out there where
that's right.
It's not violent. and it's still
It's not
still
rape?
It's still rape. Like you don't have to.
Are
like,
you pulling
punch-
the Whoopi Goldberg? It's
No,
not rape.
I'm saying you don't have to
not
punch a
molestation,
girl in the
molestation?
face to rape her. I'm saying that just with the power of a guy, especially in the position that he may hold over that specific person, he can manipulate that woman into having having him take advantage of her.
Speaking of
So, that's
fooling,
what I'm saying.
fooling people, and you said fooling women, I've got an interesting story here. Do you want to pull up this story here?
Is this your fat girl story?
No. I'll get to that in a second here. This is a cross-dresser that fooled men and then posted secret sex videos online. Now, imagine this. You go out with a girl on Tinder,
Okay.
and it gets a little steamy. This woman's fucking DTF, right? And you head over to their place,
Right.
and maybe she gives you a handy, or maybe just goes down on you, right?
Yep.
You're down. Then you find out, maybe right after that, she puts out and says, "Hey,
Let me tell you this.
I'm a dude."
Let me tell you this. I'm going to stop you right there. My hand, if we're getting to that point, my hand has probably grazed the boobs
Okay.
and maybe done a down under check. Okay? If any genital is coming out of the pants, I've checked.
Is this not a form of rape? If someone does not claim to be who they are and you get a blowjob to completion, by the way, and then they say, "Oh, I'm a fucking,
No,
I'm your mom or something,"
okay,
and she pulls off the mask and it's your
is
mom.
it a form of rape
Yeah.
when you find out that you just were satisfied sexually by somebody that you didn't know completely what their gender was? Absolutely not. That's not rape.
I don't think so
I
either.
think you are an idiot.
Yeah, if you believe that, you're an idiot. I 100% agree with you.
No, I think you're an idiot.
Turn off your Facebook. You're making me look at cat videos and shit on there. This guy's fucking looking at cat videos and shit. Okay.
Okay, I think that if you were satisfied sexually and you didn't
Is there a picture of this person? I
completely
think it's on
know
there.
who you were being satisfied
Should be on the
by,
bottom. There it is.
or if it's such a problem to you and you didn't double check or have a conversation, then you're an idiot.
Brian Denemosue, 33, admitted engaging in sex with 150 men, with just over half unaware of his production of the secret videos. Now, that's where it gets a little dicey.
You know, he needs to go to jail if he was filming these people without their consent. And hopefully there's some sort of law in his state. What state is this?
This is in Spain, by the way.
Oh,
Well, this comes from Florida. This is Florida man again, except this one's wearing a dress.
Yeah.
Florida man, woman, man. The images were distributed on a Spain-based website, Straight Boys with a Z. Not like the Proud Boys with the Z, which is the gay version of the Proud Boys.
Is it really?
No, I don't know. I'm just making it up. That promised gay men of videos of real straight men being conned into accepting sex acts, all while being blindfolded or wearing blacked out goggles. Oh, they're blacked out. So that makes it a little easier for me, too. I can imagine whoever I want. And I imagine dudes, I've always said this. I think
Wait, the guys are wearing blacked out goggles?
Yeah.
And they're getting... So how do they willingly go into a room, put on these blacked out goggles? These guys,
dude,
better
you gotta
not
imagine.
win.
You got to imagine there's drinks
I will
involved.
march in the streets if these guys win. Because, listen, do you know how many Tinder dates I've gone on where the girl had posted like 5-year-old photos, and you know, with the up pick? Oh yeah. I mean, that is the up pick versus down pick is a major.
She's fat.
Yeah. This is trouble if all the picks are up picks, and then 5-year-old up picks, and then you show up, and you're obligated for at least a drink, maybe an appetizer, if the person comes out. I mean, I am. I've got some buddies that'll just get up and walk away, but what I'm saying is the old bait and switch. I'm not unfamiliar to it, but I didn't go home with them all the time.
Let me tell you some more about this story. Denis Moussier, known by the screen name Susan Leon 33326. Susan Leon 33326 3326. It's a weird name. Why put the 33326? I just don't understand these long, stupid numbers at the end of names sometimes.
Is it his Twitter handle?
That's just the name in this Spain-based website, Straight Boys.
Okay.
Anyways, he pleaded guilty in September of 2 counts of unlawful interception of oral communications, which is combined carried up to 10 years in prison. Guess how much?
Is that a play on
he got?
words for?
I think it's just funny what he got in trouble for, and that's what it says. Unlawful interception of oral communications.
Is this a joke?
It's not
Are
a
you
joke.
playing a joke
This
on
is
me?
from Miami
Are you
Herald.
getting me upset
It is
about
on there.
something?
Look at that.
That I shouldn't even be getting upset
Oral
about.
it's right up there.
What is it called again? Say it again.
Unlawful interception of oral communications. Unlawful interception of oral communications.
So what is he being charged with? For taking videos of people getting oral?
Well, it seems to be that way. I mean,
I don't know.
the bottom line, I don't want
Next
to.
story.
Next story. What do you guys think about this? Give us a call.
Nobody cares.
Here's another story. This one kind of hits for me a bit. A 31-year-old man was arrested Saturday after he refused to stop protesting outside a church. You like him so far? That was hosting a breakfast with Santa event. So police were called about 10 a.m. to St. Mark's United Methodist Church. This is in Dallas, by the way.
He was upset at Santa?
Well, we'll see here. SantaNews.com reports that a church representative asked the protesters to leave multiple times, but they refused. But the protesters were, quote, upset that the folks were lying to the children about Santa. The officer, Brian McQueen, said, this is, of course, from Dallas News. When the officers arrived, they found 3 men demonstrating outside the church. 2 left. They bailed out. And 1 stayed. He was causing a disturbance.
Right.
His name was Urbanski, 31. Urbanski. That's a pretty sweet name.
Urbanski.
Yeah, No, I'd say Urbanski. That's cool, man. Or Urbanski.
Is it URBAN?
Banksy, yeah.
SKY.
Matter of fact, that's the actual name of that painter. His last name.
I went to school with a guy named Urbanski.
Yeah,
Spelled the same way.
Urbanski.
Urbanski.
He was arrested and charged with criminal trespass. Blah, blah, blah. Do you let your kids believe in a fake Santa? Or do you know who Jesus is? Or do they know who Jesus is?
Okay, so he's mad that people are even messing with Santa. He's a pro-Jesus guy.
He's pro-Jesus, but he's protesting at the church.
Jesus is the reason for the season, is what you're telling me he's upset about.
Well, of course. It's called Christmas, right?
What the fuck is this?
I just put it back
Did
in
you
there.
put that back?
That's what you use them for.
Yeah, but
That's how you recycle them.
I almost went back to the store. I almost just left.
Oh, you thought that was an empty?
I thought they gave us 1 empty beer here.
I got you good.
I paid
Got you good, fucker.
$10 for this 6-pack.
Well,
Way too much.
so what do you think? I wanted to open up a sort of
conversation.
5 or 6 minutes on talking about Santa Claus. So let's say you get kids, right? Do you go with the Santa Claus route?
Tell me your thoughts.
Well, here's my thought.
'Cause
I
I'm
grew
over
up
it.
with
I'm
Santa
so
Claus,
over
maybe up
Yeah,
to
yeah,
12,
yeah.
and even to this day, my mom still, in her handwriting, will give me a present that says from Santa it'll say to a toy. That's what my mom calls me, utoy, which means little brother. So she calls me little brother in Tagalog, and it says to a toy from Santa. Like, okay, you're the only one that calls me
Wait,
that.
she still does this?
She still does this to this day. God bless her.
Oh, okay. So she's the only person in this world that calls you that.
Yeah.
And so the little
You can see
card
the humor in this.
says to a toy from Santa.
Yeah.
Yes, I see the humor in this.
And so that's the way I grew up with
is
it. It's-
the worst secret agent Santa.
She does work for the government, by the way.
Okay, well,
So
she's
careful
a
what you say
pretty
about my mom.
Shitty spy. She's like,
She's not a spy. Maybe
okay,
she is. I don't know.
Maybe she is.
It's
You
good
never know.
cover. Just being a
She
regular.
calls everybody to a toy.
Just me.
Okay.
But in front of she did start calling everybody a toy. Utoy.
Okay. So,
Anyways, she doesn't call me that in years, by the way.
I don't remember it being a big deal when I can't even really pinpoint back in my childhood. I was thinking about this earlier today. I can't think back to when I discovered my parents were Santa. It wasn't like I never snuck down.
You didn't feel any animosity that they lied to you about Santa when you found out, did you?
I do remember
These fucking cocksuckers made me believe in a fat jolly man who came down my chimney and I had to leave out cookies and milk and they were gone, but there was presents under my butt.
I remember because I've got a younger sister. There was 2 years where we still kept up the ruse, for her. She still believed, and so like I was in on it, and that was one of the. They were like,
that was the fun part, right?
Hey. Yeah,
that's what made it fun.
Santa's not real. We're really Santa, but your sister still believes. So it was easier for me as an older brother.
Now, I think the people that have problem with it, I don't know why Christians would have a problem. They believe in the same kind of concept that if you are good.
This is some manufactured bullshit that the right wing and Fox News is sold to these people. Like, oh, isn't Jesus the reason for the season?
Sound like Cenk Uygur.
Oh, they're trying to take Christ out of us. What are you talking about? Nobody. This is.
See, you say that, and we're going to get into a clip here. Actually, let's go to that.
Listen. It's a business decision. We live in a capitalist society, and if you're a business that's going to cater to multiple cultures. Like Hindus don't celebrate Christmas the same way that Americans do. And British don't even celebrate Christmas the way that Americans do. We are fucking bought and sold on this bullshit that we have to go and spend our full fucking wad every year and give everybody fucking presents. And then we got to get together and have cheer and these Christmas parties and bullshit. Look, Jesus is the reason for the season. If that's the truth, then stop pushing us to go to these fucking sales and buy shit. If Jesus
when did
is the
this
reason
turn
for the season,
like no, that's just people taking advantage.
I'm saying, is it capitalism
Yes.
or are we living in a capitalist or a Christian society?
Some
Which
people,
are we Christians or are we capitalists?
Do
You got to
think
make
the-
a choice.
Okay, do you think the Christians that really celebrate Christmas because it's the Christ's birthday, right?
They're still buying.
Do you think
shit.
they're buying do you think they're the ones going to the Black Friday sales and
Yeah.
the trampoline? You think it's the
They
same
are.
people?
They are.
Maybe. I don't know what to say about that.
Because they've got to get those gifts cheap, and they've got to give.
I don't think it has anything to do with Christmas, but I think they love Christmas and giving
and they're
gifts
the
so
ones
much they want to
that-
be able to save on that.
And then it's the Christ people that are buying into the Santa thing, as well. And they're so threatened that even Santa might
Wasn't
go
Saint
away.
Nick really religious? I don't know. Maybe we should understand the origin of him, and maybe he does know it.
Let's go to Spain. Let's study Spain. Do you know they've got Santa Claus and then they've got Santa Claus, or they got Santa Claus and Black Bart. So they've got the story that they tell the kids
Santa
over there.
Claus and Black
And
Bart.
if you're not good, Santa Claus isn't going to come and visit you. And Black Bart, his Moorish sidekick, is going to come and take you and steal you away and take you to Spain. This is what they tell the kids in Norway and in Sweden.
Well, it's the same thing with God and everything, that you be good because you'll go to hell,
You'll
right?
go to hell.
So it's the same thing with I don't know why this Christian would go to this church and say it's the same fucking thing.
We're in
be
hell.
good, but maybe he's saying you should always fucking be good. That you shouldn't have just be good one time a year because this fat man in the sky will fucking give you coal in your stocking.
I
Fuck
can
that.
agree with that. And also, Stoner's How To coming through in the comments.
What's he
again. Visits with Santa are evolving. And I didn't know this. Apparently, there's a web service called Welcome Santa, catering to the modern kids who can't handle meeting somebody face to face, and offers in-home
Stoners,
5-minute
stop
webcam
commenting
visits.
on the feed
So-
and call us. We're live, dude.
So like
we're
a
live right now.
You can face chat with Santa.
With Santa.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I mean, what if there's a kid that's like morbidly obese and he can't leave the house without help of a crane and tearing down a wall? That kid should
So
be
he's
able.
trapped in the house?
Yeah, that happens.
All right, let's move on. If you call in, we'll do this.
We'll
but
talk to you about whatever.
Clarence Thomas Hall.
The Supreme Court justice?
The Supreme Court justice has a hall in Savannah, Georgia University. Okay. They're thinking about changing the name of that hall. And do you agree with that? Should they change the name?
What is their reasoning, Carlos?
Well, I don't know either.
I mean, I think he's a shithead, and he shouldn't have been confirmed because he also was a sexual predator,
Which was totally proven wrong.
And he put his pubic hair on somebody's Coca-Cola. No, it wasn't. And listen, this is one of the reasons why I'm against Biden, because Biden didn't believe Anita Hill either. I believe Anita Hill. I stand with women. And if they
Me too.
Listen, if they accuse a guy, they are going out and they're sticking their neck out, and they're not doing that as just a willy-nilly thing. I don't think anybody that's coming out and accusing somebody of sexual assault is doing it just for kicks. You know, there's no kicks in coming out in public and going against these people, because you're going to get railroaded in the press. And think about the death threats that some of these people are getting for coming out and telling the truth against old.
I didn't want to get into this whole diatribe over here with why you hate Clarence Thomas.
I
but
think this
at
Pilsner
at
is
least
making
you
me
have
very talkative.
at least you have a valid reason why you can say something. Now there are a lot of kids that are going to this hall, a lot of people that go to this college, and they're going around and they say, we want this fucking hall to be changed.
Okay. Do they pay the tuition?
Their parents probably do.
Okay. And
So
will
okay. Anyways, this is what I want to get into. Instead of you arguing with me about this, I just want to show this video from Campus Reform. Great fucking video publications. These guys are great. Where this guy simply asks, should we change the name? And what's something that you can name in particular that makes you solidify the reason for this? So go ahead and play this.
I'm Cabot Phillips with Campus Reform. Today we're in Georgia at the Savannah College of Art and Design, where students have created a petition to change the name of this building, which is named after Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice and Savannah native. Now, are students sure of why exactly they want the name changed, or are they just angry because they don't agree with him? Let's find out what they have to say. There's a petition on campus to remove the name of Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice, from a building here. What's your thought on the petition?
I honestly think he should be removed.
We should probably just take his name off the building. It's not that big of a deal.
I agree that it should get removed.
What's your thought on the petition?
I agree. I don't think he represents.
Okay, stop for a second.
Okay, hold on. I got a question.
Go ahead.
Is there actually a petition? Is this guy just trolling people?
Well, there'll be something that we'll hear. They'll touch on that in a moment. Yes, but what do you think about this so far? Just a bunch of people that are saying yes, yes, and yes. You know, you're going to hear those kind of things, right? So people are saying yes, they should change the name or ban his name or something.
And he is saying, do you think they should take Clarence Thomas's name off of the building?
Yeah.
So hopefully they know who Clarence Thomas is. And this is a liberal arts
school. Of course, it's a liberal college. They're all liberal colleges. Go ahead and play this.
I would sign it.
Because conservatives don't go to school.
Conservatives don't go to school?
No. They get indoctrinated in
All right, stop. Play the video.
And is there anything that you would point to?
You get in my face with that, I'll beat your goddamn ass. No, you won't.
Oh no. Do you mind if I get back to you?
What was the follow-up?
Is there anything that comes to mind that he's done that you would point to as something that you think disqualifies him?
I don't know. I haven't done much research on this. I just saw a Facebook petition about it, and that's kind of the extent
Facebook
of it.
petition.
He is a historical figure, though. So is Hitler.
Okay.
Stop the video right there.
Justice Thomas.
Yeah,
just pause it for a moment.
Listen, as a guy that
these are people going to college right now.
Listen, I just went back to college.
You're a smart man.
I'm a smart guy.
You're a smart man.
I'm a smart guy, but don't give me that
Sometimes.
much credit. What I'm saying is, I went back to college just a couple years ago. I graduated. What year is it?
It's 2025.
Okay. Well, in the year 2525.
2025.
About 3 years ago, I graduated from college as a 41-year-old. I went to school with a bunch of 20-somethings. And let me tell you,
You go to
this.
university?
I went to the university, the Texas State University.
TSU?
My initial run was at University of Alabama. That was in 93, 94.
I just ran.
I was running. And kids these days don't know shit. They are graduating from high school with no absolute knowledge. They have no absolute knowledge of the whole world. I'm terrified that some kids went straight from college. They graduated from college and they went out into the real world. They're working for Fortune 500 companies. But you know what? They're learning. You got to just learn. I can't.
What are they learning about?
All my fears and all of my
Jimmy, you're getting nutty again. Let's get some more of that video and.
This is done that you would point to and say that's why we shouldn't have him.
This is your side.
I mean, not in particular.
I think. I guess just. Well, I don't know what.
Now let
he
me
did.
pause real quick. Now let me preface this by saying we're not going to take the few and to apply it to everyone else. As Nick Ryder would be like, you can't fucking say these guys represent the whole left. Yes, I know, but
They don't.
here we go. Either way, like they don't represent the whole left. I'm just going to preface it.
Georgia. I mean, find me some NYU students. You know, find me some Georgetown
I recommend
students.
that you
Find me
check
some
out. Go ahead and
GW
subscribe
students.
to. If you guys are online, subscribe to Campus Reform.
Don't do it because it's probably some right wing place that just goes to liberal arts schools and then
ask
finds,
questions.
Ask a bunch of
And
questions
ask
outside of the
questions.
art building. Okay, those kids.
Ask people important questions that are relevant of the time.
And I'm not being disrespectful.
Oh, it's so
I'm not
fucking.
being I'm not
you are.
being
You're being very
disrespectful.
disrespectful
Not
to
being
my boys at
disrespectful
Campus
to-
Reform.
to,
I love those guys.
To art people. I mean,
Fuck
some
art people. Art people are.
know shit.
Art is wholly cocksucking bullshit to me. I love art. Don't get me wrong, but to go to school for it, no. The best didn't go to school, man. The best were born with it. Like, you think you're born an artist? You think you're born gay? Yeah. You don't go to school for gay, and you don't go to school to be a good artist. I guess some of them are. They kind of do it, right? Helps find their inner.
Yeah.
But that's because
Or
they
maybe-
already have the inner talent already in them.
Yeah.
And it just honed it better,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But
yeah.
not everybody in that class,
Yeah.
all fucking 150 in one class, are gonna be good like me. You know?
I get what you're saying, but I gotta
Play some more of that video.
I gotta say.
What are you gonna say?
I gotta say this. College is if you use it properly, especially for
Gender
for like
studies.
somebody that is coming from like a small one-minded town, you know, like that's where I see two things that can happen. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm exposed to all these other different points of view, and I'm going to immerse myself in these different points of view, and I'm going to study them, and I'm going to maybe re-hone my way of thinking. And what I'm talking about is somebody that was like just a product of their environment, you know, their parents' thinking and their religion or something like that. And then all of a sudden they're able to think outside of that box, and maybe put together thoughts of their own, not stuff that were programmed into them. That was some of the stuff that I really loved seeing in some of my classmates that were 20 years younger than me, as I was at college. But then there was some of those people that came from that same world, but then they were like, ooh, I don't like all these other thoughts that are against what I was told.
I didn't know you
and
went
what
to
I
school
was
with
taught.
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
And then I'm going to do everything I can to just like dig into my trench here and fight against all those other ideas, because other ideas are the devil. Like they're the product of mama's, Water Boy's mama.
And I love my mama.
He loves his mama.
He loves his mama. Let's play a little more. Let's get to play towards the end of that video.
Are the devil.
Skip. Yeah, that's good. We're gonna watch a little bit more of this before we
People
move
talk
on.
about her, and she was born and raised here, and she's everywhere. So why not let him stay?
What's your thought? Would you sign the petition to remove him?
I don't think so. Just because if you hate someone, it doesn't matter. It's part of history. You can't change the past.
So in that way, yeah, I could kind of definitely see where he would
maybe earn a right to have his name on something, whether the students agree on his political views or not.
If someone doesn't align with you, it doesn't mean that they're bad. It doesn't mean that they're wrong. It doesn't mean that you're right. It doesn't mean that there's anything that you can't come to terms with, as long as you do your own research and find the middle ground between you and that person.
Does he have a ponytail?
Yeah,
Anyways,
he had a
campus
man
reform.
bun. This is what I'll tell you: is people need to. We need. Aren't we desensitized to a fucking camera at this point? When the camera comes up to you and they ask you like one of these hard-hitting questions, and you don't know the answer, why don't people go, I don't know.
There were
I don't
a
even
couple
know. There was a couple.
The
and
one
it's-
guy said, he goes, I'll get back to you on that. But here's the worst part. They were so quick to answer the first question. Should they ban the name?
Sure. Well, they probably assume that he was.
That's the problem.
That he was. They assume something.
That's the
And I'm
problem.
going to guess that they assumed that he was some sort of Civil War guy, because the way that they kept talking, like, well, regardless of the history and stuff like that, it's like, okay, this wasn't that far ago. Like 12 years ago, he was coming up on confirmation hearings, and he was confirmed, or was it during Reagan? Was it during Reagan or during Bush, H.W. Bush?
All right.
Doesn't matter.
Next story.
He put pubes on a woman's Coke.
Whatever. All right. Let's get into this next story here. If you guys want to give us a call, the number is 830-875-0637. We'll also be live tweeting. You can live chat. We will read them. Here's another song. Here's an article from... I didn't take it on here. I'm stealing this from some sort of...
Fox 5.
Fox 5.
Fox 5 NY.
All right. We can't play a little bit of that song, right? Okay, so I was going to play a song called Carry That Weight by the Beatles. It goes, dun 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 dun. Boy, you're gonna carry that weight a long time. A woman has pleaded guilty to killing her boyfriend by stabbing him, hitting him with a table leg, and crushing him under the weight of her roughly 300-pound body. You never give me your pillow. He's like, you didn't give me your crack rock. You only give me your resin pipe. Yeah.
How heavy was she?
She was 300 pounds.
That's not that much.
Wendy Thomas of Erie faces a sentence of 18 to 36 years after pleading guilty to third-degree murder. That's why. Because you just smash him, and you're only 300 pounds. It's not that bad. If it was like 500, maybe 2 degree. You smash him, and he died right away. Boom. First degree. Let's see. The 40.
So she smothered him.
Smothered him.
But still third degree.
After stabbing him and then hitting him with a table leg. So she must have cracked off a table leg. Think about this. She took her leg. It probably flipped over a table and the legs were sticking out. And she just took her fat leg, or maybe just her one arm, and just cracked one of the legs and it ripped it off and just started beating his boyfriend. And then he started cowering, and then she just fucking got up above him and just laid forward and just smothered him to death.
But stabbed him first.
But before the table leg thing, she stabbed him.
Stabbed him.
But then he grabbed the knife.
Do we know the actual story?
No, I'm just making all that
just
stuff
making
up.
that up. Okay.
It sounds good though,
you're
right?
Guessing, yeah. I believe
the 44-year-old Thomas admitted to killing Keno Butler last March, partially by laying on top of him. Thomas weighs about 300 pounds, while the 44-year-old Butler weighed about 120 pounds.
Wow.
God damn. And he's weighed 120 pounds because of this. Thomas was reportedly drunk and wanted to smoke crack when the pair got into an argument that ended in Butler's death. So she was kind of getting into crack, and she probably wanted to lose some weight. So she said, "Hey, dude, we got to go to the skinny dude." They started doing crack. Butler, who went by the name Loco, is survived by a daughter, Adele Brown, 2 grandchildren, his mother, and 9 siblings, including Sandra.
He was one of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. What do you think about
it's tragic, man. I mean,
you got to carry that weight, man.
It's a lot of people that are missing a loved one because she just what. I think
here's the meat. We're gonna get into the meat of the news here in a sec.
No, I think I was just on the meat of the news, right? That was the meat of the news.
That was a good story, but not the meat.
What was she upset about? Do we know?
She wanted to smoke crack.
I'm a cause and effect kind of guy.
She wanted to smoke some crack.
And he didn't have crack
He
for
probably
her.
smoked it all.
He smoked all... You don't smoke all the crack.
Yeah, you just gotta think logically
if,
here, man.
If you are in a
They're crazy.
relationship with somebody that you are doing crack with, you save some crack. Even if you smoke some of the crack that you weren't supposed to smoke.
I agree.
You save some of the crack.
I agree.
Even if it's a tiny hit. Because Bay's coming home. She's coming home with a paycheck because he ain't doing anything, right? He was doing nothing.
Well,
and that's why she was so mad.
Yeah.
It's like, I go and work all damn day to pay for this crack rock, and I told you not to smoke all the crack, and you smoked all the crack.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
And now I've got to smother you to death with my fat.
Yeah, how about that? What do you guys think out there? Let's get into the meat of the news here, and this will be our last news story of the night. Kevin Hart quits as Oscars host over his anti-gay tweets. Now, I said something was gay earlier. Now, he didn't say something that was gay like that, like the way I say it, but that'll go to our next
You can't host the Oscars anymore.
Yeah, well, this is reported by Associate Press. Just 2 days after being named host of the Academy Awards, like I said, Kevin Hart stepped down after following an outcry over his past homophobic tweets by the comedian. I never liked that phobic thing. Doesn't that mean you're scared? Like, you're scared of homos?
Yeah. I don't believe he's scared of
No.
homos. I believe that he doesn't want his son to grow up gay from any actions that he allowed to happen in his purview.
Well, okay. So
I mean,
earlier Thursday evening, the comedian had refused to apologize for tweets that resurfaced after he was announced as Oscar host. On Instagram, Hart said the Academy of Motion Pictures and Arts and Sciences gave him an ultimatum. Apologize or, quote, we're going to have to move on and find another host.
Yeah.
And he said, I'll choose to pass on the apology. The reason why I passed, because I've addressed this several times. And here's the tweet. It goes, yo, if my son comes home and tries to play with my daughter's dollhouse, I'm going to break it over his head and say in my voice, stop, that's gay.
That was the tweet.
That was the
quote
tweet.
For quote.
Yeah.
Quote for quote.
Quote for quote.
Wow.
I don't think that's a real word. Quote for quote.
But quote in quote there.
In quote. That's the quote.
In an earlier post Thursday, Hart wrote on Instagram that critics should, quote, stop being negative about his earlier anti-gay remarks. I'm almost 40 years old. If you don't believe that people change, grow, evolve, I don't know what to tell you, said Hart.
I mean, he took the wrong tack. Because listen,
Shouldn't apologized?
No. There was another clip that I heard from one of his stand-up routines. It was on television. And he was like, I was at this birthday party and my son was there.
Yeah. Stop it. That's gay.
And
stop it. That's gay.
And then I turned around and this other little boy started like grinding on my little boy's ass. And I turned around and I didn't know what to do. And so I knocked them both down. Now, some people would say that that's racist, the fact that I did that accent right there. I don't think so. That's actually kind of what he sounds like.
Not me, man.
So he knocks him down. And so people were thinking like that's anti-gay. So look,
is it?
Yeah, it is. No. But is it like actionable? Is it like hate speech? Is it? No, I mean I'm like, come on, man, guy. This is like the common joke. Oh, my son likes dolls, or oh, I came home and my son's wearing a dress. I doubt this even happened. This probably didn't even happen.
But he's a comedian.
He's a comedian.
In the 2010 special, Seriously Funny, he said, quote, one of my biggest fears is my son growing up and being gay, unquote. In his 2010 special. Now, this was all before gay
in front
marriage
of an
was
audience,
legalized.
If he's doing his act in front of a predominantly African American community, I can imagine that got a hell of a laugh. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Keep in mind.
Me too. I don't want my.
Here's
son
something
being
that
gay.
he says. Keep in mind, I'm not homophobic. I have nothing against gay people. Do what you want to do, but be what you are. No, he doesn't say that. He says, do what you want to do. But me, being a heterosexual male, if I can prevent my son from being gay, I will, unquote.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And this goes back to what I was talking to you earlier, man. We create the things that we, his son probably will be gay.
After all this, right?
Yeah, after all of this.
No, I don't know.
That which
I
you
don't know.
fear comes to life, man. If you are scared that somebody's gonna break into your house every
That's
night,
why our show's so bad. I fear
gonna-
our show's going to do good.
you're gonna set up. Yes, I fear that we're gonna suck.
Here's the thing, man. I
Wait,
did want to
no,
point out
wait,
this.
Wait.
What?
I feel that we're gonna be good.
Okay.
I don't want us to be good.
I don't want us to be good. I want to keep being shitty.
I want to be the shittiest podcast that's out there, like the lowest listenership.
Or we're playing clips like this.
Our contestant is Carlos. His friends call him Los.
Call him
Los.
That's right.
So in 2005, the Drudge Report, which is right-leaning propaganda,
I got it up right now,
called out Chris Rock in 2005, and he said, quote, only blacks who watch the Oscars are gay. That is a quote when Chris Rock was up for being the Oscars host. Drudge was putting up a fuss that that Chris Rock was anti-gay, and guess what? It all fell on deaf ears. You guys don't even remember it. Now when the left is doing it, Chris Rock, they all look the same to me. Kevin Hart is now, he has to leave the Oscars, but Chris Rock hosted the Oscars, and I think it'd be funny. But who cares about the Oscars? I don't give a fuck, by the way. I wanted to mention I did bring this story up. I don't give a fuck about any of this.
They are loving this.
I don't give a fuck about any of this.
They are loving the fact that they get to just talk about themselves. Nobody gives a shit about the Oscars.
Nobody.
Except for, and this is what I was telling you earlier, maybe the gay community. And if they're going to have a host that has said some questionable things about the gay community, they've got to make a business decision and say, hey, man, we're not going to fire you publicly because everybody will think we're racist. So we're asking you, will you please just apologize or pull yourself out? And then he was like, you know what? I don't apologize to anybody. I'm a tough guy. You can obviously tell from my jokes that I probably am a homosexual and I've got repressed feelings, and but I keep coming out like I'm tough against homosexuality. So I'm gonna just like play tough right now and say, no, I'm pulling my name. I ain't gonna apologize. Then once he pulls his name, then he's like, you know what? On second thought, I probably might want to date some of these guys that are really upset at me right now, so I better apologize. That's my stance. I think Kevin Hart has got homosexual tendencies.
Unbelievable. I can't believe you go into that.
Yeah.
So if I call you, like if I have a buddy who happens to be the old co-host's brother who was my roommate, and we always called each other queer. What's up, queer? And this leads me to my next story that's related to this story. Kyler Murray apologizes after homophobic tweets surface after hours after he wins the Heisman Trophy. So this is in your realm of sports a bit
Yeah,
here.
he just won the trophy over my boy Tua.
There you go. Kyler Murray won the Heisman Trophy on Saturday night, making him the second straight quarterback from Oklahoma to win college football's most prestigious award. Just hours after winning the award, though, several of his old homophobic tweets surfaced on Twitter.
What are the tweets?
Here we go. So if you see, do you have them up there? So it goes, here's the first one. You're going to start, and he just basically says, y'all are queers. He keeps saying queer. So if you keep looking at him, he just says, Cole's getting salty. He's a queer. Look at, here's just a simple one. It says queers.
Just says queers.
Just says queers. And he's responding back to somebody, ha ha ha, queer. I don't even know what you two queers are talking about. I got both y'all, especially you. Here's the last one I'm going to read. I guess YOLO is a trending topic at Marcus. Hashtag queers.
Okay.
These are all from 2012. Now, he responded back, and he says,
what did he say?
I apologize for the tweets that have come to light tonight from when I was 14 and 15. I used a poor choice of word that doesn't reflect who I am or what I believe. I did not intend to single out any individual or group.
Okay. He was 14?
He was 14 and 15. Aren't we all fucking dummies when we're 14 and 15? Can we forgive this guy?
I forgive him.
I forgive him. I don't give a fuck anyways, even if he said that.
I don't. I mean, listen.
When you say fags or queers,
Okay, no.
what's wrong with
way,
not liking gays or
the
queers?
way that I read this is the
What's
same.
wrong with it?
Listen.
Sorry.
Okay, let me tell you what's
Sorry.
wrong.
Sorry.
You can't do it. In today's age, you can't just walk down the street calling people fags and queers. You can't do it.
Yeah, I can. Watch me.
I mean, you can, but
I
you're
got
an
best
asshole.
friends that I'll call that to.
I mean, all right.
It makes you think I can't say it to my friends.
I mean, just don't do it to me in public.
The thing is, I know I won't do it. I won't say it to you.
Because when everybody, like,
you're a little snowflake.
If I'm walking down the street and you go, "Hey, there's Jimmy. What's up, queer?" and you like yell across the street.
See, that's a different story. I wouldn't do that.
I can handle it. I'm not going to be like,
I know you can handle it, but I wouldn't do that.
But there's
a
gonna
line.
Be, well, you won't do it because there's going to be like 20 other strangers that are going to look not just at me.
I've called queers queer dude all the time.
They're going to look at you and they're going to go,
okay,
who is this guy that just has to use this offensive language? And
they
such
call
a divisive,
themselves that. Why is it offensive language?
Yeah, they can call themselves that.
It's like the N words.
It's like the N word for gays. Yeah, you can't use the F word. You can't use the Q word.
It's like when you say I use nationalist for this. No, I want to use the original fucking meaning of queer here, motherfucker.
Back when I was
why do you want to change it for bad? Like, listen, you want to make it seem like that way. I'm telling you, I don't think it that way. And people go, okay, think about the
really
origin.
I hate this.
You don't like this? I'm digging it. Native
Have
Texan,
that
you
one.
guys. Let's do one more before we get out of here because we got another like. I think we can go to 1:30 here.
I'm just saying, if you can say something without potentially offending somebody, say it that way. You know, why do you have to throw in? I mean, and I understand for comedic effect.
Okay, so that's what I was gonna say. What if it's for comedic effect?
Okay, comedic effect.
I don't
you gotta
ever
know
see
your
it.
audience.
I don't. Of
You
course,
gotta know
need to
your audience. And if you're going to Twitter,
Wait,
you're going to
Do
everybody.
you think that Michael Richards should have gotten the rap he got for?
Yes, because he was yelling at a black guy.
It was pretty
and calling
bad.
him the N-word.
He's a nigger. Look at him. He's a nigger.
He was yelling at a black guy like that, and I saw the bit. His bit wasn't even funny.
It wasn't funny.
So I mean, he obviously was on some drugs, and some of his inside stuff came out. I'm sorry.
Okay,
you're done.
Last story of the night. I know I said this was the last story, but since we're on a roll here and we got some more time, I want to talk about the Supreme Court.
Doing this
What
for
happened?
2.5 hours?
No, this is 1 hour, and we're 1 hour 17 in right now.
Okay.
Supreme Court gives victory to Planned Parenthood in Medicaid case.
Yeah,
Do you know anything about this?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Well, I'll tell you a little bit. Let's read a little bit first from. Oh shit! Why don't I have the name of this publication on here? It's from NBC News. Okay, it's NBC. It's good. It's legit. Not fake news. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday left lower court victories intact for Planned Parenthood in legal battle with states over access by Medicaid patients to the group's services.
It went to the Supreme Court, and they were asked to hear the case.
Yes.
And basically, the Supreme Court ruling was they
No.
decided not to hear it, which upholds the lower court's ruling, which was in the favor of Planned Parenthood.
The dispute did not involve abortion, but the action by the justices keeps a hot-button political issue off the docket. 3 of the court's conservatives said the court should have taken the case.
Yeah, this was a planned move by the administration to try and defund Planned Parenthood by not allowing people that get Medicare or Medicaid to go to Planned Parenthood.
You know the argument behind it is, right?
So the argument is that they are not pro-choice, they're pro-life, and they don't
most
want
of their money comes
They don't
from-
want any money going to an organization that provides abortions.
Correct.
I totally understand the argument. So they have been actively trying to defund Planned Parenthood any way they can. So they were going to pull the ability for Medicaid recipients to go to Planned Parenthood for services other than abortions. They were going for prenatal care. They were going for birth control. That's another thing that's a sticky widget. They don't believe in the funding of birth control.
Well, I disagree with that 100%.
And then what else? They were just any like pap smears and whatever swabs and stuff go on in there. And then, sometimes lady parts need to be looked at.
Here's my thing
So
on
they were
this.
trying to stop that.
Here's my thing, okay?
And,
as long as I'm not funding for your abortion as a taxpayer, I'm totally fine with
No-
what provider that you have.
No federal funds go to abortions.
I understand that. But if I don't want to fund a place that they're making most of their money off of that now.
They're not making most of their money.
Now, who says that? What they now? Go ahead and tell me what
their
all that's
statistics. I mean, you didn't.
And you
you
go
didn't
ahead,
tell
pull them
me
up,
we were
and you
gonna
tell
argue
me.
that.
You tell me
But
who says that.
The percentage of income that Planned Parenthood pulls in from abortions is negligible to the other services that they provide.
You know who says that, right? Planned Parenthood says that. That comes from their website, from their statistics.
We'll look it up.
Now, of course, you'd say that, right? Now, look at independent studies on it, and you'll find that most of their money comes from abortions, and that means they're abortion provider, and the taxpayers should not fund that. There are many places for you to go and get affordable birth control, like crisis pregnancy centers, which they abortions are absolutely not a choice to go.
All right, so we'll go to this one. This one's from February 9th. This is SaveTheStorks.com. We're gonna see. Here's how your money is funding abortion. The fungibility.
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 What the fuck? Like fungi? Fungi?
You know what? This is all bullshit.
Yeah, it looks like
bullshit. Right wing, pro life.
Funny how
bullshit. Let's look for a.
That's the second one too. That's the second what he pulled up here. Right, percentage of abortion money for Planned Parenthood.
Yeah,
and look,
percentage of abortion.
You see the
money
annual report right here comes from Planned Parenthood themselves. So that's what everybody goes and says. Like, okay, so we need to trust the one source on this.
No. Let's go to the Hill. They put out the
The
report.
Hill is left leaning, bro.
Annual report, another unhappy tale. Let's see how many.
I used to read them and think they were
made 100 million from abortions.
Holy
I'm kidding.
Shit. Holy fuck.
They brought in $1.46 billion.
Nice.
That's billion with an increase of 100 million.
Wait, read
fewer
that one.
Women have turned to abortionists.
Read the top of that. Abortions down slightly.
Planned Parenthood aborted 321,000 babies last year, down from 328,000.
Oh my god.
So we're down.
They're still doing it.
Yeah, they're doing it.
It's gross.
It's gross. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. But look, the only thing that is going to conquer abortion is people not having sex and
not
getting
offering
each other
them
pregnant.
abortion for birth control. That's all I don't want.
No.
I don't want that.
No. I don't think it's birth control. It's holy shit, my dad's gonna kill me. And I don't think it's the percentage of
your dad will understand.
No, the dad won't understand.
Stomp on your fucking
Dad
belly
is
or
gonna
something.
Be so mad.
He'll stomp on your
But then
belly.
But in every movie you see, as soon as he sees those eyes, as soon as he sees those grandbaby's eyes, he's gonna be like, you know what? I'm so glad I didn't force you to have an abortion because you got pregnant from that guy Tyler. That's stupid. He's a backup quarterback. I wanted you to get with Shane. He's
So we talked about the Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, right?
Yeah, they should take his name down.
They should. The Supreme Court declined to review 3 cases relating to the Republican efforts to defund Planned Parenthood at the state level, over vigorous dissent from the Justice Clarence Thomas, which I pulled right here.
He wrote the dissent,
which I have the dissent here. It's all 4 pages of.
What
the
did
dissent.
he say? He was so angry.
Yeah, well, it says I'm just going to read the meat of it. You don't have to pull it out. I just printed out. Look at so it says, quote, "So what explains the court's refusal to do its job here? I suspect it has nothing to do with the fact that some respondents in those cases are named Planned Parenthood. Some tenuous connection to a politically fought issue does not justify abdicating our judicial duty. If anything, Neutrally applying the law is all the more important when political issues are in the background. I say, man, these Republicans. This is a Republican-leaning justice that's saying.
But when I read his
excuse me?
dissent, what I read is something that is tinged by those videos and the sale of fetal body parts that was.
Well, they're trying to
alleged.
say that they sell body parts. In which can you pull that video up? It's from.
Don't pull it up. No, it's
Project
bullshit. We've already-
Veritas.
that's already
Project
been,
no, it's not fake. Project Veritas. They say they were the ones that I think bust that sucker out. Abortion or selling fetuses, man. They're selling body parts, man. What more do you need to know about
We
these
are
people, man?
responsible for the confusion among the lower courts, and it is our job to fix it. I respectfully dissent from the court's decision.
Here's great.
deny certiorari.
Well, he dissents from the decision,
Yeah.
so that means he didn't even vote in. But they said we dissent from it. Is this?
He
is
voted
it right here?
to.
Here,
he
listen.
voted
Listen.
to
Watch.
hear the case.
Pop this on and listen to this.
He voted to hear the case.
I think that might be a commercial. Oh no. Oh no, that's their artsy fartsy intro. We got money. Oh man, that's hip. Are you gonna get to the what's it gonna-
resources and subverting.
8:30 to 5, so it gives me so much more time and like emotional bandwidth to do all of this stuff.
Carafa is not shy about how he uses his time at work
You know,
to
it's
resist.
a lady that
while
says
being
something about
paid
selling
by
the body
federal
parts and
government.
shit.
Instead
Let's
of
see.
so like
Is this
Dad, I'm gonna-
for abortion one? Anyways, it doesn't.
I don't know.
If you can find it,
I think
keep
we're
it in the
on the
background.
wrong
Try to find
video.
it. But they basically say that they are selling. I don't know what to believe in this, but they're saying that they're selling body parts and they use this as evidence.
In the video from years ago, and blah 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 blah.
pretty recent, actually.
But this is a completely different case. It's obvious that the bias doesn't go away when you're supposed to
that's
be
not it.
impartial and judging a case. This case was basically, was it legal to deny the rights? And this is a Texas case. Am I right?
Oh,
Am I right that this is a Texas case?
I don't know.
That the
the
right
dissent
for
here.
people with getting Medicaid were not allowed to go to Planned Parenthood, and the the state court said that it was illegal to prevent them from going to Planned Parenthood, and Supreme Court denied
don't
the
know.
hearing. They denied certiorari. So that's where we're at. So it upholds on the state level. If you've got Medicaid, you can go to Planned Parenthood. So the attempt to defund Planned Parenthood was squashed by the religious right yet again.
Anyways,
keep your religion out of my politics.
What I also wanted to mention is that you have.
This is the
Well,
problem.
hold
This
up,
is
I
what
wanna-
this is what we run into though, Los.
What you got?
You know, like you don't like it when I make judgments on religion, but
I don't care. I'm just like,
I know.
what's going on?
Yeah,
with
I
that?
get it.
Why
And
hate?
I'll be more sensitive to that.
No,
But-
you don't have to be sensitive at all around me.
I mean,
Don't not restrict yourself.
I'll
because of
do
me.
it, but I'll tell you when I'm doing it. But I mean, in this case, this is somebody pushing their religious views on me and the government. You know, what if I'm not saying that my religion is, you know, all babies should be killed, but what if it was? Doesn't that have a right to exist? All babies should be killed before 20 weeks.
I think if they have a birth defect, you should kill them. If they there's no cure for their disease, you should kill them.
Because they want to ostracize pro-life Democrats in Missouri.
I think this is a different video.
But they still somehow get us money.
They get these people to lower their guards and ask them questions, and they say things that they shouldn't have said, and it's bad for them. Project Veritas is great. They are very. I don't know if you want to call them right leaning, but they definitely cover things
Well,
that
I
are
don't
on the
want
right.
to give them. I don't want to
I
sit
do.
here and
Project Veritas. Go look at them.
Scroll through the whole.
Yeah,
freaking
neither do I.
video.
But anyways, I wanted to mention that Judge Kavanaugh.
He voted for the affirmative to not hear the case.
That's right.
Yes.
And so, this whole scare that everyone was saying.
Because he's not bought and sold like Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas owes his life to the Republican Party.
What do you have here? Planned Parenthood annual report. Another unhappy tale.
Yeah, I pulled this up. I was trying to find...
Well, you can see that most of their business comes from abortion at this point. From what you're looking at, the only one report that says that they don't.
336,000 breast exams.
Yeah, how much does a breast exam cost?
Revenue from body parts.
So they have as many breast
item
exams
that
as they
you
have
find.
abortions. If you look at the numbers, it's as many abortions as they do breast exams. How much a breast exam cost over a $700 abortion, or how much ever it costs? I know it's pretty pricey, dog.
Abortion's less than $500. Clinics
I tell you, a
closed.
breast exam is pretty much cheap.
Private donations. So look,
Private donations
donors,
by the Clinton Foundation.
$532 million.
Yeah, so people can fund, so they don't tear down
Taxpayer
their
funding
business.
is down.
I don't want to fund them at all if that's their business, dog. That's the bottom line. There's crisis pregnancy centers all over town that you can go to that supply the same
Prenatal
amount.
services.
Prenatal services. If you have any doubt that you don't want your baby, they will give you all the options you can, short of killing the child. It's so simple. There's more options out there. There might be someone that wants to buy your baby. A nice gay couple.
No, you can't sell a baby,
you
dude.
can.
You can't legally sell a
All
baby.
right, you don't sell the baby, but you can put it up for adoption that this gay
Okay,
couple is
yeah.
going to do. But if we're going to call a rock, it's you're selling your baby to a gay couple.
Well, it's
Okay?
it's
But the legal
you get
way.
put up in a
Legally
nice
sell your baby.
apartment. They pay for your college, and then you just give up your baby. But that's not selling your baby.
Okay, whatever you want to call it, you gave up your baby and you got money for it.
But your vagina is going to get totally stretched out. So like that's a consideration.
I failed
So
to
you
see
can-
my
you can-
vagina is going to be fine.
You can get your school paid for, and you can get like maybe $100,000 under the table and some other stuff. But your body will never be the same once you have a baby.
I just don't know what you're.
So what I'm saying is,
Go ahead.
don't have unprotected sex
Yes.
unless you're willing to have a baby. That's the like. Can we just tell our 12-year-olds that?
Oh, I know. They're
before
dirty, rotten,
before
filthy
their
whores.
little dongies can shoot their seminal load. I mean, I just want. Can you tell your kid that, hey, if you bang Jenny down the block, you're gonna have a kid that you got to pay for?
Am I wrong?
And there's some shitty ass kids out there.
That's
And
right.
I know some of my best friends that don't even know their mom or dad, because they were just born on the streets. They don't even know their mom or dad.
It's a shame, dog.
They're just born on the streets, man.
Dude, it's a freaking shame. All right, you guys, thank you so much for listening. This has been another episode of Emergency Exit.
They
You
don't
guys-
know their mom or dad.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
If you guys like our content, give us 5 stars on iTunes. Check us out on any of the platforms you guys are watching or listening to podcasts.
Where are we?
We streamed live to YouTube today. We are all over the place. We are at every single different platform for podcasting you can think of, or Google, iTunes. Usually when people go, hey, where can I listen to your podcast? I go, what type of phone do you have? And if it's usually iPhone or Android, we're both on both of those platforms. So it's that simple. So
How'd you feel? Did you miss Nick?
I miss Nick, but I did not like the way he sounded. He actually showed up here. I told him the call time was 5:30. We had some issues, and
so sick.
he was feeling like it's so nasally. And I said, bro, you don't have to stick around. And
Yeah,
you were
get
running
outta
a little
here.
late, so hard hat. And I said, bro, don't let us keep you here. I know you got to wake up early. And yeah, he took it up.
How
so.
mad would he have been to go to 8:30 tonight?
Oh, he'd be pissed off, dude. We can't keep him up too long. I think we'll still see him, but it'll be sort of sparingly because he's got his new gig. So we got to respect that. He's not disappearing from the show, but he's
got a job.
He's got a job. Got to pay the bills. So
I don't have a job.
if you guys want to give us an email, drop us an email at emergencyexitpodcast@gmail.com or just go to emergencyexitpodcast.com. So for Brennan the Hard Hat Mitchell, for Jimmy Preston, I'm Los saying, that's right.
That's right.